All right, 25.1 just got announced. We've got tips and tricks coming up. Sam and Angela are doing it now. Darren, I just did the workout. What are the tips and tricks?
Give me a second.
No, keep it rolling.
Okay.
Come on.
So, hey, with this though, Rich just did the workout, so I'm gonna explain it, but he's actually gonna be the one to talk through it.
I want to hear what you think the tips and tricks are.
All right, so the workout today, we had a 15-minute AMRAP ascending ladder, 3, 6, 9, 12, ... all the way to
TBD.
Whatever. But burpee over dumbbell into hang dumbbell clean and jerk. Doesn't matter if it's alternating.
You don't have to alternate.
Don't have to alternate. Which, let's start there, because that's where I actually think that there's a little bit of...
Yeah, there's a little bit of gamesmanship there.
Let me pause you. I think you should do 3 and 6.
We all think.
I think you should do 3 and 6 without alternating. I think that's the light round. You could probably hammer through it pretty quickly. Yeah. Let me finish.
Oh, sorry. I did it. Therefore, I know more than you. Just kidding. Go ahead.
Okay, but then after that, I think you should go into alternating. Now we can hear Rich's.
This is my show. I'll talk over you if I want to. All right, so
I'll put this down.
Couple things. Let's start with the dumbbell clean and jerk. Yes, the first rep does not have to be from the hang. It can be from the floor, which which I think is a great standard. No, nothing to really think about there.
Yeah.
Yes, in the early rounds, doing one arm without switching was better. Probably it was a little faster. We saw with Austin. We didn't communicate that we were going to do that. Therefore, I switched every hand. That's why I lost. And so, not that I'm not as fit as he is.
Did Austin stick with single arm the whole way?
So he, from what I could tell or from what I heard, he went single arm for a while and then he would do like 5s, which is faster. So if the dumbbell clean and jerk isn't a factor, you're going to get hung up on those burpees. Or if you're going to get really far into the workout and you want to speed up in the beginning, that's where time can be made without really burning yourself out. Towards the end, the alternating was probably better. Honestly, it wasn't a shoulder thing and it wasn't really a clean fatigue thing. It was an out of breath thing for me. Yeah. So I don't really know how much that would have, thanks. I don't know how much that would have played into. For me, for somebody who can handle a dumbbell pretty well, we do a lot of dumbbell clean and jerks just in programming. I've done a lot of travel stuff, so trying to get stuff in. So luckily I have done a lot of dumbbell clean and jerks. I can just kind of motor through those each time. The sets don't really get that big, even if you get into the 30s. It really comes down to, in my opinion.
Remember, we're talking to everybody else. You're the fittest man in history. So.
Oh, no, I'm not. Formally. And so burpees add up. So that if the movements were switched, I could see where the dumbbell might come into play a little bit more, but it's starting with the burpees. They add up really quick.
Yeah, coming off the lunge, like you were kind of saying, the lunge was kind of like...
The lunge was a nice kind of break. Obviously you want to burn through that. There's really no reason to like shuffle your feet or anything like that. You've got to make sure you open your hip. You got to get both feet across, all those things. But it was a nice kind of break from, hinging a ton on the hips and then just kind of being upright, catching your breath. So it's 15 feet out, 15 feet back. Doesn't take a lot of time. Doesn't really blow you up. It's annoying.
I think it was kind of needed in the workout to maintain the intensity.
Yeah.
I think if it wasn't there, you would.
Yeah, it was almost like an interval type workout each time. The interval got a little bit longer if you think about it. The lunge is like, just use that as your time to like, all right, I'm not doing anything. Let me catch my breath, but at least like open my lungs a little bit. Make sure I'm stepping through. You don't want to get a no rep because you got to come all the way back. That whole 15 feet, I think, is a rep technically. I don't know this. I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah,
but I know that if you get a no rep within there, you have to come back to the start.
Which is a
It's not a lot of time, but if you do it right. But if it's a lot of time, if you miss it, right? So think about that.
Burpees, you said you started a little conservative.
I started super conservative. Yeah. Those guys went out hot, and I was like, all right, well,
which naturally,
maybe I am really that washed up, like
maybe I am old.
Maybe I shouldn't be doing this. And so they went out, not you, me and Haley. Haley just walked by and interjected. Me and Haley, I feel like played that right, and slowly. I just know that my burpees are not fast, but I can keep going on them. We've done a lot of lateral burpees in the programming. And so really the burpees for me was most of the workout. So if you can, on those burpees, just keep moving. There's really no reason to stop. Even if you're bad at burpees, just slow, methodical, just move over. Don't try to just keep forward progress and just keep moving, chipping away at reps. In the beginning, you're gonna be like, oh man, I'm already to 15 or whatever. And then it's going to slowly start to add up. 18, 21, 24, 27.
When did you feel the workout actually
10 minutes
started?
in. Okay. 10 minutes in. Okay. So up to 10 minutes, I was like, all right, you know, this sucks. This is pretty good. I can do this. No, I can't do this anymore.
And you got to 30?
I got on the 30 round of the burpees. So, you know, it's a lot of work. There's a lot of hip opening, making sure you get those quads good and fired up. Get out of breath when you're warming up. You know,
hard to do when you're doing the announcement.
Yeah, when you're doing the announcement, I'm warming up. I mean, I didn't even know if I was going to do it up until literally the second they announced the workout. As long as it wasn't pistols, I was going to do it. But it was, it's a hard workout. It's a fun workout. Everybody can do it. You know, there's a pretty low barrier to entry. Man, it's just you know, you can make it as hard as you want to make it. 15 minutes. It's just be ready that you're gonna start suffering about 8 to 10 minutes in, and then it's gonna be over before you know it. Because those big chunks eat up so much time. So you're like, oh crap.
Transitions are gonna get longer.
I'm not gonna, you know, well, I'm gonna get to 1,000, right? And then all of a sudden, all those reps start to add up. So when you start to hit those 15, 18, 21, you're eating up a ton of clock. So be smooth, a little bit more conservative than you want to probably in the beginning, and then just push the pace towards the back half. Hang on to that dumbbell. If you pick that dumbbell up, try to hang on to it. Obviously, if you're in the 24, 27, 30, it's going to be a little bit different, but try to be as prepared as you can coming off those burpees that you can pick that dumbbell up and go.
Yeah, it's exactly.
Do you have any more tips and tricks from what you did?
I was going to say. I echo everything he said. We rehearsed prior, and that's what I had said too.
That's what Coach told me to do. So, you know, like before we walked out there, he was like, "Look, come over to my corner, and I'll tell you exactly how to do this workout."
Before they announce it, I'm going to tell you right now what this is. But yeah, like you said, I do think it pays dividends. Be smart early on transitions. There's no real reason to stop in this workout. Like as far as like if you can move the weights, and the beautiful thing, like you said about the dumbbell snatches. If you can do it with one arm, you can start alternating even if you want to, you know? So it's like one arm starts to get tired, you can go right into an alternating, you feel like the other way is better, you can switch back and forth. There's no necessarily right or wrong. You just got to find which one's going to work best for you and as far as play to your strengths and weaknesses.
I will say, as I was rotating, I noticed kind of like oblique and like just some lateral core movement. So maybe
keep it like consistent.
Yeah. So, you know, think about that when you're doing it. But there is a little bit more rotation than you want it to be. And it does start to add up a little bit. So enjoy. Let us know how you do. See you on the leaderboard.
All right, we're going to go over the movements for the workout today. Hey, we have the dumbbell, hang, clean, and jerk. Remember, the first rep, you do not have to bring it up to hang position. That's the beautiful part about this. You start from the floor all the way up, catching on the shoulder and pressing overhead. It does not have to pass through the dip. Okay, so meaning that we can come right down to the hang, and some athletes can catch and press. Those are for your super strong athletes. We do not recommend that. We recommend to always use your hips on this and breathing through at the top, reaching that full extension. You do not have to alternate. Okay, so if I were to do this in this workout, the 3 and the 6, I would probably take those movements and just do all on one arm and help that transition through of catching and pressing. Notice how when I bring it down, I don't bring it right back the way I came. This will make for a faster transition, almost like a snatch. So I let the dumbbell free fall, kettlebell movement here into my swing, catching, pulling, and then pressing, breathing at the top. Also, if you're gonna do all on one arm, relax your grip at the top to really help breathe, and also keeping your grip from piling up or blowing up on this. If you're going to alternate, make sure you practice transitioning efficiently. You don't wanna reach the top here and then have this arm down here low. You wanna already have it ready. So when I do this, I come here, I catch, and my hand follows up so I can hand over and go into my next rep. Catch, follow up, hand over, and I keep that momentum. Okay, so a big thing, like we always talk about, is momentum, letting the weight do the work, falling down to put you right into your next swing, and then propelling yourself back up into that catch and press. Breathe, grip, loosen up, switch when you have to. That's a big thing as well. Like I said, earlier rounds, the 3, 6, maybe the 9 you could get away with doing on one arm. After that, I strongly recommend going to alternating. Now, later on, you can start maybe going to some 5s if you don't want to get too crazy with it. You feel better, kind of maybe relaxing one arm longer. But again, start to alternate before it gets worse. Otherwise, you're going to get really stuck with it. Now, next part of this is the burpee over dumbbell. Okay, so once we have dumbbell obviously on the ground, we are parallel with it. You will go down to the ground like a traditional burpee, flat on the ground. We always recommend for any workout, unless it's like a 3-minute sprint, stepping up. When you step up, always step up with that outside leg. Get it out nice and wide. It does not have to be a 2-foot takeoff. So from here, I can just use my momentum to carry over top and almost do either a cross action, or I can just do the little Mario skip action. Okay, so I can either just jump over, lay on the other side, then I'm right back down, plant, and then I step out on that outside, or step up on that outside leg again, carry over. Stay low. You don't have to stand up at the top. That's a beautiful thing. So use that to breathe. If you're gonna, when you breathe is always at the bottom. I get down on the ground and then I get my momentum, carry over, down on the ground, carry over, other side. Okay, you just want to be fluent with it. Smooth is fast, fast is smooth, and that's such a true statement with this workout because it's a 15-minute grind and it's going to be all burpees and hang clean and jerks. The lunge is the area, it's almost like the reset. That's going to be the like reset area of where you're going to relax your arms. Don't have any weight bearing movement on you. You just want to be steady. You can even do the little process of when you step, give a little throw maybe to help throw yourself into that movement to go into your next step. Also, don't get caught with the no rep here. This can really hurt you because it is 15 feet, but if you get no rep and you almost are done with that 15 feet, you have to go back 15 feet. So don't over rush it, take it smooth, take that step, give that throw, breathe, relax your hands. Okay, hope this helps you guys out. Good luck, attack the open.
All right guys, 25.1 just got released. We're gonna go over warm up and cool down. So here we go, warm up. I talked to Rich, and you guys kind of heard in the start of this video, he talked about rotationally, got a little bit fatigued in his midline on those lateral obliques, okay? Also get your quads ready, so we're gonna go into that right now. So I want you to start with a Spider-Man stretch. This is gonna check off a couple things for us. So thoracic mobility, ankles, and get our hip flexors lengthened out too, okay? So what that's gonna look like, Spider-Man stretch here. I want you to start by getting the knee driving over the toe. So into this position, once you get here, same arm is gonna come up, rotate through, back down, and then we're gonna rock back out of that. Okay, so that's gonna be 1 rep. Drive the knee over, up and through, and then back up tall, okay? I recommend for this one, let's go about 2 sets of this between 8 to 10 reps, okay? Alternating sides. Next piece, we've got our banded lat stretch. So what this is gonna look like, we're gonna go arm in, same leg is gonna go back into the side. We really wanna get our lat lengthened out and work on our front rack position, transitioning from that clean into the jerk, okay? So arm in here, legs going back into the side. What I like to do with this as well is hold this stretch for about 5 seconds, bring the chest tall, then we're gonna squeeze that scat back and down, and then you're gonna relax back into that stretch. Same thing for this one. Let's go 2 sets of this, anywhere from 8 to 10 reps, okay? Last piece of our warm up. There's a lot of hinging, okay? We gotta get these glutes activated. So what I want you to do, grab a light dumbbell to start. So if you're using a 35s, probably somewhere between a 10 and a 15. I want you to, we're gonna go kickstand position, so up on the toe. Really think about pushing the hips back, good engagement of our midline, send the hips back, let this dumbbell come down to about mid-shin, and then we're standing tall out of that, okay? Same thing here, we're gonna go.
Can you give me another one?
Yeah. So, kickstand position, really think about engaging the hips, push the butt back, let the chest come down. We're going to mid-shin, and then standing back tall. You should really feel a lot of hamstring activation and glute through that, okay? All right, guys, that's 25.1 warm-up. Have fun.
Hey guys, we're here to talk about scaled and foundations. So for the scaled workout today, it's going to be the exact same movements and rep schemes. You just get a 35 or 20 pound dumbbell. So what I first wanted to talk about is in the hang clean and shoulder to overheads. So for the hang clean, Darren's going to pick it up. When you get here, if that dumbbell's heavy, think nice big hip movements here. Then on the way down, if you need to, you are able to use both hands on the way back down if that dumbbell's really heavy for you. So if that's something you need to do, you are allowed, and then you can only bring it up with one arm. So as it starts to get heavy, consider using that other hand for support. In the shouldered overhead, you can get under it as well. So if it's a heavier dumbbell, you can do an actual jerk and get under it. Fantastic. For the burpee over the dumbbell on the ground, I want you to mostly think about a pace that you can keep moving with. So you can jump back in that burpee. You can jump up.
Oh, sorry.
But ideally, you're probably going to be better off jumping back and stepping forward with that outside leg. You can also step back in the burpee as well. So really try to find a way to do these where you can keep moving and never stop. For the lunges, finally, whenever you are doing these, practice in advance. See how many steps it's going to take you to get the 15 feet down and back. 4 or 5, whatever it is. Practice starting at the line and getting that number of steps in. No one likes to finish when they're just 3 inches behind the line. So practice in advance and have that number in mind. For foundations, the recommended dumbbell weight is 20 and 10 pounds. You can adjust that higher or lower if you need to. And there are no over the dumbbell burpees. It is just standard burpees. So think about the same things we talked about. Really just finding a pace that you can keep moving with, stepping back, stepping forward, keep breathing. Our top advice in this workout is to not start out too hot. Start easy and controlled. 15 minutes is a long time. You can always pick it up later on in the workout. Just don't go out too hot. Darren, anything?
I'll say Christy pretty much summed it up there. It is a 15-minute one. It's not a 7-minute. It's not a Fran. Okay, to me, this workout is one on the back end. I would say kind of what we picked up from just little tips from Rich and them as well is they felt like at the 8 to 10 minute mark is where the workout really started to add up. Okay, and obviously that's where the sets are bigger. So early on, your transitions should be pretty quick, but you still want to be mindful of later on fatigue. So just be smooth. I mean, we say it all the time, smooth is fast, fast is smooth, and that's so true in these earlier rounds. Be smooth, breathe through, just be methodical. Just like Christy said, as you're moving on the lunge, that's your reset area. Step through the motion, make sure you count it out. And again, just be consistent.
Breathe.
Breathe. I know.
Yeah,
I know it almost
breathe,
seems
guys.
like common sense, but when people tell you it, it really does make a difference.
All right, crush it.
All right, guys, cool down, 25.1. What I would recommend doing, hop on a bike for about 5 minutes afterwards, get a nice flush, let your body calm down, get your heart rate down. If you need to kick your legs up on the wall and kind of do a recovery breath work, highly recommend that as well, okay? After you finish up, get yourself up off the ground. What I wanna go into next, obviously we did a lot of hinging there, so I wanna get your spine moving a little bit. So what we're gonna do is go in through a cat-cow and a child's pose position. So from here, knees down on the ground, hands right underneath the shoulders. And then what I want you to think about doing is arching your spine. Don't force any position, just nice and smooth through this. And then we're gonna kind of tuck that pelvis up under, let your thoracic spine stretch out. And then we're gonna move through about 2 sets of 10 of those. And then we're gonna go into a child's pose. And with this, what we can do is kind of walk the hands across both directions. So here, reaching across this way, letting that lat lengthen out. And then I'd wanna walk my hands over this way. Let's spend about a minute on each side, okay? Just kind of getting some decompression through the spine, let your lats lengthen out. Now from here, what I wanna go to, obviously quads may be blown up, hip flexors a little bit blown up. So let's get into a couch stretch and get opened up since we spent so much time bent from the burpees and from the dumbbell clean and jerk. So we're gonna go couch stretch position, leg up on a bench, drop this down. And then what I like to do in this position, think about squeezing your glute. You're gonna intensify that stretch through your hip flexor, through your quad. So hold that about 5 seconds. And then if you can, relax and push back a little bit. And we'll come back forward, squeeze, relax and push back, okay? With this, 2 sets of about a minute on each side, okay? Last thing here, we're gonna be gripping a dumbbell for a lot of the time. Also getting into that push-up position. So what I want you to think about doing is grabbing a barbell, or if you have a massage gun, you can use that as well. We're gonna go down to the ground, lay on our side, lightly put this barbell on top of the forearm, and then we're just gonna work on rolling back and forth here, okay? Let's spend about a minute each side with the barbell rolling back and forth. If you wanted to take the wrist through a little bit of motion, if you find a sticky spot in there that may be a little sore, spend a little bit of extra time on it. Hope you guys have fun. We'll see you next week.